I'm live.
What the fuck are you doing? Yeah, I was like, fuck you guys. No, man.
Hey, no. Wait, Luke, where are you going?
We're sort of like, kind of classic. They were on the bridge, but we were on the side. But what happens, like, there's instantaneous organizers, like, okay, so what do we do now? And, like, I
start like whistling, like I'm going home to crack open a beer and shit all happy. It's so ridiculous. Like we get petty like children and people give us money. Like even the first dollar, we'll kind of all look at each other and care. And like, oh my god, they just gave us $1, dude. Like, people dropping fives and we're like, oh my god, dude. Like seriously.
Thanks, guys.
Am I lying? Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And I learned that from these traveling kids I came on hitchhiked with. They never made a sign begging for money. They just always,
Have you guys signed my tent?
No, I haven't.
That side. The peeps side.
They were rainbow gathering people.
Those are only for these.
They were also a-lot campers.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, remember I get off the bus?
I'd rather
Guys! Hey, come sit down. Welcome, Neil.
That's why they got to the cats. Hello, folks.
There's nobody watching, not even a cop.
Hi, cop.
Oh, we can't even see your face, it's just a shadow.
Well, they already have plenty of pictures of my face.
My phone isn't that great in the... There's water?
So is there going to be another CCA assembly talking about issues?
You know what? I don't want to get like too deep into what those issues are, but I feel like the people who were at the camp last night feel like it's over.
Okay.
And I feel like the people who weren't here and are not involved want to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
Well, I mean, to be honest, even if the issues are not directly the folks talking these issues, it's something that was never resolved during the occupation of City Hall.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily a bad discussion to have in general because those kinds of issues.
Yeah, but I think it's a private conversation because we haven't figured it out. Like, so it's not something that like we don't have. We don't have.
So you think CCA needs to figure it out for CCA?
No. The thing is, like, wait. I'm in the middle of a sentence.
I'm sorry.
I know it's frustrating.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think the whole topic I don't want to discuss in public because we don't have a solution that we can be proud of. But yeah, I mean, there is that big divide of the people who camp and the people who don't camp, and the people who don't camp want to tell the people who camp how to camp, but they're not camping.
Well, some of them are camping here.
Yeah, but in that GA there was like one person.
Well, it's more than that, but...
Well, it was very few. And yeah,
your point is that the folks that are here need to address the issue for here amongst themselves.
But hey. I don't even see the face, but I'm pretty sure I know who that was.
Yes, you do.
Okay. It is a broader issue. I mean, that is a point. Like, we have a larger community that is affected. But I think maybe this is the place to discuss it here. But then people from outside the camp come to the camp, discuss it, and the people in the camp don't go to that meeting. But it's the same as City Hall. Like, this camp is very much the same as City Hall.
Right. I mean, that's my point. It's the fact that at City Hall it didn't get addressed. A lot of the folks that were there talking about it were at the City Hall encampment. May not be camping here, but I can understand that they want to address the issue.
But even GA at City Hall was people who weren't camping at City Hall.
That's true too.
Okay, yeah. So now that I'm camping here, I stopped going to GA. Is that an interesting phenomenon?
I try to
So what's?
So I kind of switched places. So now I camp, but I don't go to GA.
Right. So what is your opinion on the solutions for the CCA encampment? I know you're speaking for yourself and not for the encampment.
Well, I don't want to say too much on live stream.
See,
I don't agree. Like,
agree with what?
With what happened, but I don't have a better solution.
Okay.
So maybe I just left and came back. Because I don't know. I don't want to go into any further detail. Yeah. But yeah, I don't have a better solution. I don't.
For me as an outsider, just watching and observing what's happening, one of the things that I've mentioned to others is the fact that amongst the CCA encampment or Occupy LA or whatever group you're talking about here, any kind of protest movement group you're talking about, has to deal with these issues anyway. And that in the historical context, there is a common thread of women being abused, being unable to deal with interpersonal violence in general, that has oftentimes broken apart previous movements. And so, depending on how things go here, or in Occupy LA, or in other protest movements, it's very, very telling to the future of how to address these kinds of issues, because it's a common thing amongst all protest groups that these sorts of things cause them to fracture, break apart, stop being relevant.
Yeah.
And so, if things are to succeed in this sort of encampment kind of situation, if the issues are addressed and those kinds of the solutions function, it could be a huge, let's say, story. I mean, a very, very important piece of history.
There's a lot of talk, and I'm kind of leaning in the direction. After last night, I'm hearing more and more talk, and I'm starting to think and agree with this, that this person is a paid agent.
I've heard that.
And after what I witnessed last night,
I've heard that assessment.
I'm leaning in that direction. I mean, that's not something that can be proven or disproven, really, I don't think.
But regardless of whether it's a paid agent or not, the same issue is going to remain.
Yeah.
I mean, whether or not this particular individual is a paid agent, or not, these kinds of issues exist, and they exist from people who aren't paid agents. So it's an important thing.
Yeah. Well, it's just all the problems that exist in the world exist right here in this camp.
It's a microcosm.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
It is a microcosm.
Yeah.
And
the not being able to sleep just makes it worse. Because maybe we get 4 hours of sleep and then we have to wake up, pack up our shit, and move. And then we try to sleep at Pershing and we really can't, unless you're really, really high, which I was.
It's interesting. There's certainly a set of challenges.
So I think the medical marijuana is quite needed because it helped me out very much.
I've also seen and heard stories about the use of marijuana and other substances being used in a way that essentially they're given in some ways indirectly from sometimes authority, and at least in certain cases, for unknown purposes. So whether to dull senses, heighten your senses.
I
It's
I don't
there's
know.
definitely been some
I had
in
an,
the Midwest about that.
I hadn't smoked pot in 20 years until last night,
Okay.
and it was different. It was great.
I can't do it myself.
You can't do it? No. I felt like it heightened my senses.
What was that?
Yeah, my senses felt like yeah, definitely. It was
Can't do
crazy.
it.
Can't do it? No. I didn't like it when I was younger. That's why I never did it.
I can't do it.
No?
It's an imprisonment for me. I can't do it.
Really?
I'd like to quit these. These are not good for me either.
But I was actually able to sleep, and yeah, it was great.
Couple months.
That's right. I think I've had it since
January.
I've been smoking like pretty much my like, but I find it pretty easy to quit for periods of like 3-6 months.
I did 3 weeks.
I can't get it. Trying to adjust the light. I'm just getting shadows.
Yeah, it's hard.
I'm mostly just getting shadows. Yeah. That's why I'm going over here and trying to.
Cigarettes?
Yeah. My first cigarette was with the retired fireman, and we went fishing early in the morning. I went fishing early in the morning on Lake Erie on the Ohio side, and I had a cigarette. And then my parents found out, and they said like, "You want to smoke?" I was like, "Yes." They gave me a pack. Like, you have to let it. They gave you standard smoking time. They thought that would make me want to quit. That was the right time. That's perfect. So you're supposed to have to feel that back all day. I started smoking pretty much.
It doesn't look like there might be any discussion here tonight about issues. You said that you felt that things seemed resolved.
That's how I felt last night. Yeah.
I'm not sure that that's actually the
That
case.
scared me. Yeah. But also, I feel like if something similar to last night should occur again, I think the same thing would occur again. And I don't know. I personally have never felt unsafe.
Okay.
But that's just me, and I have a different.
You have a different life history, you have different experiences, everything.
But then also, I feel like I have like close relationships with people here, which also make me feel safe. But even before, when we were on Main Street, I wasn't that close with people. I still felt safe. But maybe I feel safer now because of the relationships I have with people now. Last night, I think there were 2 women here last night.
Okay. Only 2?
Yeah, me and her.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But she's with him, so she felt safe. Yeah.
Well, I heard earlier that those folks that have a companion, romantic companion, have generally felt more safe than those who haven't.
Who said that?
I don't want to say.
Okay.
But they were not talking about the CCA encampment, they were talking about 4th and Town.
Okay.
But
Yeah. Well, I don't think women feel safe at 4th and Town.
No. But the only ones that had felt safe were the ones that had some sort of romantic companion.
Yeah.
So that's interesting too.
Yeah, but then then there's all the friends of that romantic companion as well that that are looking out for their friend, and so that's even a bigger network of people looking out for you.
Yes. It's interesting how this whole scenario ends up playing out to me.
But I think any woman here is safe. Like there was a random woman sleeping here one night, and
well, I mean,
and she was protected. Somebody came here and started fucking with her, and this random homeless woman, and everybody
stood up for her.
Yeah,
That's great.
and I don't know, and seeing that,
That's great.
experiencing that. I mean, within like 30 seconds, there was like 20
there have been
guys.
assaults in the last 2 weeks on women.
Yeah,
So I don't know if I'd say it's quote safe, but
yeah.
it's again, it's interesting how this whole thing plays out. Nothing else from a historical perspective, because it could definitely set the stage for future protests and how things are dealt with.
Well, then also, like a lot of the times, I mean, it's actually absolutely true that women do a lot more work.
Oh, in what sense?
Like organizing.
Well, that's one of the things that they have talked about in previous movements failing. The women get more or less stressed to the point that they leave.
Yeah.
And then they lose that element.
I mean, the women, you know, like, yeah, generally, well, like when we were at camp, the last 2 days of camp, I was doing my photography assignment, and I needed to photograph women, because if I didn't have a fair representation of women, even though there's less women than men, if I didn't have at least half women in that project, I was going to get a bad grade, because I said I was going to represent different types of people. But during those last 2 days of camp, I couldn't find women, because they're all on the north side of the camp. I wasn't allowed to photograph on the north side of the camp, and all the women were over there working. And I'm like, it's a still camera. I just need to photograph these women. I still haven't shown this, but I still haven't scanned the pictures or shown them to anyone.